But autistic people are so rude, aren't they? They're so blunt and direct. Really? Give me a break. A few things need to be understood about autistic people and communication here. For one thing, autistic people do not lack expression, nonverbal expression. We simply demonstrate, and again, I'm speaking in generalities here, every autistic person is different. Generally speaking, we exhibit fewer nonverbal communications such as tone of voice, facial expression, body language, and all the rest. We generally exhibit fewer, and we generally exhibit in a way that is different from neurotypical people, with obvious exceptions such as smiling, laughing, and other related phenomena. But we tend to exhibit fewer and different than neurotypical people, which means that us autistic people, obviously I'm talking about us autistic people who are capable of speech, such as myself, we tend to have much more of a reliance on our mouths than on other parts of our body to communicate. Much more of a reliance. And the second point to be added to that is that us autistic people tend to be much more literal in terms of how we communicate, and we tend to see, and this has been my observation here, we tend to see brief episodes of interaction. Not necessarily long-term, but brief episodes of interaction, brief back and forth, as exclusively for getting one's point across and not for sharing niceties or other things of that nature. We value being nice, we just measure it in a different way. The third thing I'd like to add is that many of us feel as if it would be rude to not be blunt or to not be direct, because that would mean leaving out important information. Fourthly, and I think that this is the biggest point of all, autism is a communicational difference, not a communicational disorder. Therefore, you cannot say when an autistic person communicates differently than what you're used to that they are being rude, because that would only hold true if autism were a disorder. If autism were a communicational disorder or a communicational problem or a communicational deficit, then yes, you could say autistic people are being rude when they speak bluntly and directly. Since none of those things are true and autism is merely a communicational difference, an autistic person who does not make eye contact, speaks bluntly and directly, flaps their hands, misses the social cues that you demonstrate, is not being rude, they're just different. Let's think about it logically before we come to conclusions that hurt other people based on our own preconceived notions.